Hello. So I just wanted to jump on and show you a little quick tutorial just to make a really cute no-sew mini journal. I made a few of these gosh, right back when I first opened my little Etsy shop, so a couple of years ago now. And they sold really well. They were really popular. They're so easy to make. Hang on. Sorry, just having a little drink. They're so easy to make. They're really cute, and they're really simple. I haven't made them for so very long, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a little pop, and I've done them a little bit different this time. Previously I did them with an A4 piece of paper, and they ended up being sort of quite slim and tall. These I've done with slightly larger sheet music paper, and I've done the covers slightly different. So they're super simple. They are far from perfect, but that's just kind of how I like it. And when you open them up, so they're literally folded from this one. I've put two pieces of paper together. They've got a cover front and back. They've got a little fabricy spine, all glue, no sew, and you get little pockets in each one. You can place your pockets. You can do top ones, or you can do side loading pockets. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few of these up, and I'm going to embellish a few of the pages and add some tags and stuff and pop these in the shop. Just thought that they were really cute. But I'm going to show you how to make one first if you want to make your own. Then here we go. Right, okay, so that's what we're going to end up with. I'm just going to zoom you out slightly. So I've got two A4 pieces of, they're not A4, that's a lie, two massive pieces of sheet music. You can use any paper you want, but I would recommend it be quite thin. Now this is a little bit brittle, so we need to be careful with it, but cardstock won't work for this. It would be too thick, so you definitely need some paper. You could use printables on a cheaper copy paper. You could use magazine pages, thinner book pages, scrapbook paper, as long as it's the thin stuff. So this is thin. This is probably about 90 GSM, I would have said, no thicker really. So a little bit of origami, so one at a time. You don't have to use two. I'll show you that in a second, but I'm going to just to make them a little bit more substantial in mine, but it's totally up to you. So basically you take your piece of paper and you lay it one way and you fold it in half. And then you open it back up and you turn it the other way and you fold it in half again. Now I'm not being very precise with this. You can be, but these are torn out old book pages, so I can't really be precise, if you see what I mean. They're never going to be perfect. So now we folded it in half one way, folded it in half the other way. The lengthways, we're going to fold into the middle, and this is going to create our pages. So I'm going to fold this piece into the middle, and I'm going to fold this piece in the middle. If you were ever a kid, geez, perhaps when you were a child, you may have made storyboards. Sorry, I'm just leaning my fat head in so I can say what I'm doing. You may have made storyboards. And this was one way we used to do them. So you fold your piece of paper, half and half. And you end up with 8 boxes. And then we used to do storyboards in them. So it's the same sort of thing. So once you've got your 8 sections, we're going to fold in half lengthways. So we're like a book. You can see the fold lines. In fact, perhaps that might be, yeah, this way is easy to see. So you can see the fold lines you've got, hopefully. So once you've folded it in half like a book, we're going to cut this first crease here up to the score line. So the folded edge in. And what that's going to create when we open it back up is a hole in the middle. And this is how our book is going to be formed. So recap: fold up, fold across, fold in. Gives you 8 equal-ish sections. Fold across again like a book and cut along your first score line, and it'll give you this little duck bill. There we go. There you are, duck. Don't know why I did that. So that's what it gives you. And then we're going to fold back up again and pick it up. And where we've got that duck bill, we're just going to push in the middle. That gives us this. And then lie it flat. And that, however imperfect as you used to do it, so you could have lied it flat that way and squidge. Or you could lie it that way and squidge. Or you could have turned it that way and squidge. But once you've got your duck bill, these needed to fold. And what that gives you is effectively 4 pages. Then manipulate your pages whatever way around. There's always one way that seems to fold better than the other. It sort of folds a bit more naturally and less sort of, can you see how that's sort of a bit bumpy? So just play about with it and just get it to fold like a little book. And that's it. That's your base of your journal. Now, I fold it so the creased edges are at the bottom. Because I'm going to do some top and side loading pockets. But that's up to you. So whether you choose to do this with 1 piece of paper or 2 like I'm going to in a minute, so I will show you this again in a minute. What we then need to do is just go and fasten up our pages. So this first page you can see is the edge of the paper and is open wide. So I'm going to have a top loading pocket there. So I'm going to fold. You can see how imperfect this is. Not bothered. I like that. I don't care. That's how I like it. Obviously you can be more perfect, but because of the very nature that you're folding and folding, you're adding bulk to the pages. It's not going to be absolutely bob on, so give yourself a break. I'm just going to run a bead of glue up that first little edge and give it a squidge, and that creates my first pocket. Now, when I sold these previously, I stitched them. You still can. You could run a stitch up there and absolutely no problem, and you've probably got a more secure pocket than mine. I'm not going to with this one because it is it's a no-sew project. But that's totally cool if that's what you want to do. So my second one, I've got the gap at the bottom. You can see that. So I've got a top and bottom there. So again, I'm going to have a top loading pocket. So I'm just going to shove a bit of glue, can't see what I'm doing, across the bottom to close that up. Again, you could run a stitch if you wanted to. You could hand sew it. You don't need to use a machine. You could use double-sided tape. You could staple it. You could leave it, whatever you like. If you want to use them as pockets, though, you're going to need to close them up. If you're just going to be sticking stuff to the front, it doesn't really matter. So that's 2 little top loading pockets I've given myself. Next page, I'm going to have this one as a side. So I'm going to glue the top like so, and that will give me glue on my finger. That will give me my little side pocket, you see. And then the last page again is open at the bottom, so I'm just going to run a bead of glue along there. Any minute now. And that gives me my little one at the bottom, my top loading pocket. And that's it. You've created the base of your journal. Now, I once made one of these actually for my sister as a little receipt wallet, just for somewhere, just to, and she keeps it, oh, she used to, unless she was lying, of course, keep it in a handbag when she was self-employed. And so receipts and stuff she could tuck in and just keep a little tally of them sort of every couple of weeks, run through them. And it was dead handy for her. So obviously you can use the pockets for whatever you want. You don't need to have them at all. You could just glue them completely shut, or you could leave them. It's totally up to you. So that is the base of my journal. What I'm going to do is do a second one. So if you didn't catch it the first time, pay attention. We're going to take the bottom. So we're going to take it landscape. Fold the bottom to the top and crease. Open it back up. Turn it portrait. The bottom to the top. Open it back up. And then we're going to fold the bottom to the middle. Turn it round. I'm going to fold the bottom to the middle again. Or top to the middle, whatever you want to see it. and then you've got your 8 boxes. As long as you end up with your 8 boxes like this, you're winning. Obviously this will work with any size rectangle of paper, but the smaller you do it, the smaller your pages are going to be. So you look, this is bigger than an A4 piece of paper. This is A4, so you can see it's much bigger than an A4 piece of paper. And those are the size pages I end up with, so bear that in mind. So we've gone landscape, bottom to top, portrait, bottom to top, fold it in, fold it in. Now we're going to set it landscape again and fold it like a book. And our first crease from what would be the spine in, we're going to cut just that first box. Some people I've seen do these, the same sort of version, and have cut sort of a thicker chunk out to make it easier to fold, but I don't feel that's necessary, but you might want to. If it isn't folding right for you, or it's annoying you how bulky it still feels, then have a pop with that. But anyway, so we folded it. So landscape, we folded it in like a book, and we've cut from the spine in across the top of the first box. So when we open it up to landscape and fold up again, we are left with duckbill, and that's what we're looking for. Take our sides and fold it in, and then sort of splat it is the technical term, and one way will feel more natural to fold than the other. And I think it's just sort of the outer edges. I mean, that's really uneven. Does that feel better? Sort of recrease it all. That's all right. Down with that. So again, once we've got our journal base, I'm going to go through. So the first page, the bottom's open on this one. So I'm just going to zoom in a smidge. Close the bottom up. Again, glue it, sew it, staple it. What was the other thing? Double-sided tape it, whatever you want. Now I'm going to give myself a side pocket here. If my glue wants to work. Oh. Glue is the bane of my life. There. Because it's been cold in here as well, I've found that as soon as I've used my glue and then put it down and then I pick it up 10 seconds later, it's like frozen, like dried up completely, and you can't do anything, and it's really annoying. Next page is open at the bottom. So again, bead of glue. Although we haven't had it cold quite like you guys in the States. That's been insane. Like super snowy. Last page, we're going to have a top pocket, so we will glue the side. Yeah, I don't know how you deal with that. We have like a fluttering of snow and the country grinds to a stop. It's ridiculous. We couldn't deal with winter like you do. I can't cope with a bit of rain. I can't stand it. Makes my bones ache. Right, so I now have my 2, there we are, signatures, if you like. So I could just put a cover on the front, a cover on the back, fabric spine, and hey presto. But instead, I'm going to attach these 2 pieces together. So again, you could attach maybe just top and bottom, have it as a pocket. You could just stick them down. In the last one, I just stuck them down entirely, which I think I'm probably just going to do again, just for ease. But you could be creative and, you know, if you just adhere do it at the bottom and the side, you give yourself another top pocket. Totally up to you, but I'm just doing this. Bang a load of glue down. Get it as even as you reckon you can. Which they're never, as I say, because of the very structure of them, they're never going to be perfect. You're always going to have bulk and slightly wonky edges, but yeah, that's what I like. And there I have my larger journal with my effectively 2 little diddy signatures. So what I did with this one is I just cut 2 pieces of paper and stuck one to the front, one to the back, and that's given me my front and back covers. I haven't stuck that very well there. just going to do that. And so I'm going to grab, what am I going to grab? I'm going to grab this. So we're going to have 2 covers. They're not going to quite cover in full, but that, as I say, that really doesn't bother me. Now bear in mind, if you're going to put a little fabric spine on this, oh, you can't even say, if you're going to cut yourself a little fabric spine, you're going to cover up part of this half of your page. So make sure it's something that you're happy with. So I'm just going to mark along here, and I'm just going to actually tear it because I like the torn edges. So that's going to be my back cover. I'm literally just going to stick on. And then my front, I want some of this florally. So I want some of the blue. So I want it to sort of there, and the bottom. So just cut yourself a piece, measure it to size, or tear it to size, or don't, whatever you want. You don't have to use paper. You could stick some fabric over the entire thing if you wanted. You could get a piece of fabric that actually fits, glue it from front to back, and Bob's your uncle. But I want this, so I'm just gonna zoom out so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just gonna tear down the pieces that I want. Yeah, that was it. And here, so this is just a print out of I think it's one of mine. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Just a little printable, just a little wallpaper, just on really cheap copy paper. Now, because you might see the edge, I'm just going to get a little bit of ink, and I'm just going to ink some of this stark white away, because that I don't like. So just because you might see a little edge peeking over, because mine certainly aren't perfect. There's literally no ink left on this. So I'm just going to do that around the edges. Oh, there we go. Just adds to the aesthetic. It's fine, it's fine. There. And so this is my back. That little bit's annoying. Oh, there go the tremors. Gotta love the tremors. Okay, so I'm gonna have the glue to the this. Move. And stick it on. I'm going to stick it on from the outside edge in, because obviously I'm going to add a fabric spine, so it doesn't matter. That gap's going to be hidden anyway, and it means I can see more of the image. This edge, I want the blue to the edge, so glue it down. I mean, these are so simple, so easy to make. You could just sit and make up a whole bunch of these and have them as sort of happy mail or little inserts in your journals, or little cheeky gifts. There we are. So that's front and back. And then I have this bit of fabric that I got in one of the little mystery boxes of Lulworth Blue, which is a really sweet little shop. They sell really nice vintage fabric. So I'm just going to tear, yeah, like that. So I'm gonna half this actually, because I want to salvage the other bit. And I'm going to start on the back, chuck some glue on. I mean, literally, how easy are these to make? Glue all over my fingers. Do it sort of halfway-ish, kind of. And then fold that over. Voila. And then got a bit of ribbon somewhere, a bit of something. Hang on, hang on, hang on. We've got some of this. Cut a bit off. And this is literally our little journal. So sweet. How cute are they? I love the rough edges. I love that it's wonky. I love that it's a bit grubby, a bit battered. That's just right up my street. Super simple. So yeah, I'm going to make up a batch of these, and I'm going to stuff them full of bits and pieces and ephemera and stuff, and chuck these in my Etsy shop. So yeah, look out for them because they're so cute. But if you make any of your own and you're happy to share, please put them on your Instagram and tag me in. It's at the Pink Zebra UK. I'd love to see that people watch me and listen to me and make stuff, because they're really cool and really fun. All right, I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.